Hey guys, welcome to Rotors. My name is Kenny McKee and this is my dog Doge. But today I want to talk to you about a controversial subject, and I want to go ahead and preface anything that I'm saying by saying, before people get upset, that this is entirely an opinion. This opinion isn't shared by even everyone that I know as far as that's even involved with Rotors. I just want to make this video to talk about something that's a touchy subject for a lot of Rotary owners and car enthusiasts, whatever. But that is the question: is the rotary engine reliable? A lot of people have heard the thing, but like it's a joke on the internet. Boost in, apex seals out. It's a joke. Everyone thinks that rotaries just burn oil because they're shitty engines. Everyone thinks that rotaries are just pieces of shit because they're 1.3 liters and don't make any torque. People say all these things about rotary engines. There's a lot of misconceptions around the rotary engine as far as how the power application and everything like that works and how reliable they are and things like that. So I want to go ahead and clear up some things and then give my own opinion on whether or not rotary engines are actually reliable. So let's just jump into it. The rotary engine, like I said, the common joke with the rotary engine is boost in, apex seals out. Now, if you're actually involved in the rotary community, you are more than aware that apex seals have not been an issue since the early 2000s. There are so many great manufacturers in apex seals. There's Goopy, there's E&J, there's RX parts, there's all these amazing these apex seals that literally don't break. When they reach detonation, they'll bend. Now, what most people understand is that the reason they have that reputation, obviously, is because the stock engines, the 13B REWs, 13B Turbo 2 engines, all these things like that, when they got older, so like you get 100,000 miles, after heat cycling that many times over and over and over again, the metal will get, the original hard seals get brittle over time. And as they get brittle, they become easier to shatter. And then your tune might not be off, your injectors might fail, your fuel pump might fail. When you get an event of bad fuel, when you have an event of pre-detonation, the apex seals will catch one of those detonation events and shatter because they're old and brittle. And then it destroys your housings and then usually your adjacent two irons in that area. That being said, that when you have a rebuilt engine, typically they don't use, there are some that use OEM seals, and for the best reliability and startability and things like that, OEM seals are highly recommended. Like, there's no reason not to do OEM seals, as long as you realize that you need to rebuild it before detonation, and like getting old brittle seals becomes a problem over time. That being said, apex seals are not a problem. They haven't been a problem as long as you have a proper tune, as long as everything's set up correctly in your engine and all your maintenance is taken care of. You're not going to shatter apex seals. That's not a thing anymore. It hasn't been a thing. If you're concerned about those things, get a softer seal that won't shatter. They'll bend out of place and then they'll lose compression that way. So you know you need to rebuild. That being said, your apex seals aren't going to destroy anything. And then we get to the rotaries burn oil argument, which is dumb, obviously. Everyone, if you know the rotary engine, there are people that think that the rotary engine just burns oil because it's a shitty engine. But the reason it burns oil is to lubricate the apex seals and making constant contact with housing as it spins around. That's by design. Now, you can actually make your engine not burn oil, engine oil that is, by actually deleting the pump, the oil metering pump, out of the engine and running two-stroke oil through your gas and pre-mixing your gas, creating a safer, more lubricated engine. The reason a lot of people do this is because your fuel injectors have a wider spray pattern than the oil injectors in the engine, so they lubricate the engine more, and you're not running dirty engine oil through your engine as it scrapes around. Like I said, there are differing opinions on whether or not you should premix and not premix. Most people that I know, at least, premix their engines, and I do the same. When you move to the RX8 and things like that, the RX8 limited the amount of oil that was injected into the engine. So it creates more heat, more friction. Your apex seals are more likely to fail faster, as well as a shallower apex seal depth. Since you have that shallower depth, you have less apex seal life. And since you have less lubrication, you're also limiting that life. What we personally have seen, that if you premix your RX8, it'll last longer, just because you're adding more lubrication. And then when they came out with the 09 Plus RX8s, those actually added a third oil injector, adding more lubrication for the engine and thus increasing the life of the engine. That being said, the rotary engine does not last very long. And that brings me to my opinion on the rotary engine. Is the rotary engine reliable? Let me clarify. The 12A is extremely reliable. The 13BNA is reliable, yes, 100%. When you get to the turbocharged engines, no, I would say absolutely not. When you get to the Renesis, no, I would say not. That's not to say that you can't daily drive an FD or Turbo 2. That's not to say you can't daily drive an RX8. That's not to say if it's properly maintained, you can drive around every day without a problem. The problem is that the shelf life of those engines is not long enough for me to consider it a reliable engine. It's not a car that I would buy with the expectation of the car being my reliable daily driver for 10 years. That's my clarification of reliability. Your interpretation of reliability might be different. It could be, as long as the car starts up and drive, then I have to rebuild the engine maybe 2 or 3 times if I rebuild the engine one time, like every 3 years, it's not an issue. A lot of people completely underestimate how long 60 to 80,000 miles is. 80,000 miles is like 5 to 6 years on average driving for an average driver in the United States. 15,000 miles a year, that piles up to 80,000 miles. Is several years. So for me, you have to say, to me personally, rebuilding an engine for $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 every 6-7 years isn't a big deal. That being said, I wouldn't say it's reliable just because of the engine life. Everything else, perfectly fine. There's a little more, it takes more maintenance, yes. The more fragile, yes. But as long as you take care of basic maintenance, it'll last for a while. But not as long as a Honda, and that's what I would consider reliable. So with that, I just want to say thank you. Please don't be mad. I was trying to do this as respectfully as possible. Don't be angry. But I want to say thank you guys for tuning in, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. I've been Kenny McKee, and we'll see you later.
All right, now we're gonna take out all the chilling plugs.